What's up, everybody? So today's going to be a different kind of raw and uncut video. You see, normally when I post on this channel, I am talking about myself, my feelings, my goals, my desires, my opinions, and I am basically letting you guys into my life. But today, for the people who choose to listen to this, I feel inspired and obligated and motivated to give a talk based on you guys, something that will help you guys, something that by you guys listening to, you aren't learning or gaining anything of my life, but you are gaining insight and advice that can help your life. So whether this be the first time you clicked on a video of mine, or if you click every day, or if you click randomly, I truly hope you choose to listen to this, because there is no incentive for this video other than I hope that it influences one of you guys for a greater purpose and a greater good. With that being said, some of the stuff that I speak on and give advice on in my life is based on the trials and tribulations that I have gone through. So I do go through, here I am talking about myself, I do go through a lot of mental health struggles. And because of that, I feel like I have learned so much throughout the road. And so much of the stuff that I learned, I wish I had known when I was younger. But unfortunately, when you start chasing your purpose or your dream or whatever it may be, you don't have a blueprint. You don't have a book of everything that's going to go wrong and everything you wish you could have known in the beginning that you do know at the end, or not the end, but later on in your life. So I'm going to give you guys advice that if you haven't started on your dreams, or if you are still trying to start on your dreams, you can use in your life. And the topic is going to be about failure. Now, a lot of people have this misconception of failure. A lot of people fear failure. A lot of people see failure as exactly what the word sounds like and feels like, as failing, being a failure, being bad, losing. People have a weird idea of what failing means, and they see it as a negative. And what I can tell you guys is, right off the bat, failure is the furthest thing possible from being a negative, because a failure is actually a giant positive. And I know that can sound weird and it might not make sense to you, but here is my reasoning for why failure is not only important, not only essential, not only, so not negative and actually a positive. First off, right off the bat, a lot of people see things as failures that are really not failures. And I'm talking about things on a small scale. If you fail a test, if you, try very hard to get into this program that you want to get into and you get rejected, if you, are shooting the final shot in your basketball game, buzzer beater goes off and you miss, if you mess up in the slightest form, if you think that is what failing is, then you are mistaken. And don't be hard on yourself for being mistaken. But the reason for that is those little moments, I call them moments. I don't call them failures because they're not big enough to give importance to. Those moments are part of your success. Because as you go on in life and chase anything, no matter what it is, those moments are going to happen in a repeated fashion. And those moments are going to continue to happen on your road to success the higher and higher you get. Now, those moments don't do anything to you except for show you what you did wrong, and if you did do it wrong, how to do it differently, and if you do it differently, how to succeed. So on your road to success, those moments are going to happen. So for me, I see those moments that people call failures a part of success, because there is no way in life you can go for anything and not have those moments, no matter what it is. You are not going to be perfect. Even if you look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, an undefeated record in boxing, he had those moments throughout his career, whether it be slip-ups in training, whether it be, hurting himself in training, whether it be something that happened to his public image that was criticized and scrutinized by the world. Those are moments that happen in his life that people can use against him to call him a failure. But Those were all a part of his success. He still had to go through his moments. The important thing to recognize when those things happen is he did not stop. He never stopped. He continued. Now, if he let any of those moments have enough power to allow him to stop doing what he loved, then maybe his record wouldn't be as perfect as it is. Maybe he would only be 32-0. Maybe he would only be 29-0. Maybe he would have never continued to strive to be the greatest, the best ever, as he calls himself, because something happened early on in his career where people are saying he was a failure, and he stopped right then and there. So no matter what you're going through, you can be mad at yourself right now, angry at yourself because you failed at something, because you merely slipped up at something. But that something is a reason that you are going to be successful, because you need those moments to learn how to be successful. So, in simple terms, failing on a minor scale is of no importance and relevance to your life in a negative way. It should only aid you, and it should only help you positively, because no matter how perfect you choose to tread on this earth, no matter how perfect you want yourself to be, things are going to happen. Things out of your control are going to happen. Because the higher you are going to get in life, the more you are going to be tested. And it goes down to how bad you want it. Because if you reach this level in your career, you're getting tested at a level that matches this. You're not going to be tested something bigger than the level that you are at. So if you reach this point, and you are matched by those failures that are going to enter your life and those situations that are going to enter, you have a choice to go higher. But now that you got higher in your success and you're reaching new heights, you can expect even bigger things to happen in your life that are going to test you and your will to continue. The higher you get, the higher the adversity against you are going to become. It's going to become even harder to continue because of how much more successful you are going to get. The harder the negative in your life enters, the harder it is to continue, and the bigger and better you are going to become, as long as you recognize what those things that are happening into your life are. Those things are happening into your life to test you. Those things are happening in your life to teach you. Those things are happening in your life to make you a better person every single day. So you need to have a relationship with failure and understanding that when something bad happens to you, instead of wallowing, instead of being sad, instead of being negative on yourself, smile and say, this is nothing. I can handle so much more than this. You see, when you watch somebody in the public eye do something wrong, we sit there biting our fingers to see if they're going to fail or they're succeed. People are so quick to say that person's career is done. Now, the funniest thing to happen in those situations is when that person going through that comes out even stronger. Because you sat there and you're like, whoa, I thought that person was done. But that person is understanding that those things that happen in their life, those failures that other people see as like the biggest things in the world, are nothing to them, are merely a stepping stone to get better and bigger in life. Now, I think people need to stop texting me because this is a raw and uncut video. Now, you see, the hardest thing for me to grasp in life was and is still this. So when I was going very hard in my career, when I had a passion, a vision, and a goal, because you see, when you have a purpose, that purpose needs to be followed by a plan, and that plan needs to be followed by action. You can have a purpose, you can have a dream, you can have thoughts of what you want to do, but if you don't have a plan on how you choose to achieve that purpose, then you have nothing. And after you have that plan, if you don't take that plan into action, you still have nothing. I can sit here right now and have a multi-million-dollar idea for an app, or a video, or a career choice, or opening up a new business. But if I don't have a plan to support that dream has no power. And after I have that plan, if I sit there and stare at it and I say, if I were to do those things on that list, I would be successful, it still means nothing until I put that purpose, that plan into action. Now, what I've learned, because I've been there, when you are putting your purpose, through a plan into action, you feel as if nothing can stop you. You are on the wavelength of success and you continue to skyrocket. There was a point in time in my career and my life where I believed that there was no such thing as failure. I believed that I would be unstoppable. I believed that I would never stop. When people told me, what if YouTube stopped paying? I was like, didn't even listen to it, didn't care, because I knew that I was doing everything that I was supposed to do to succeed, so I had nothing to worry about. And before I don't want to lose my train of thought, what I'm getting to is this. Since this is raw and uncut, I hope you guys forgive me and give me a second to collect my thoughts, because I don't have time to edit these bits of my mind trying to formulate what I'm trying to say to you guys. So, as you're putting your purpose into action, this happens, guys, when I'm speaking, but I usually just edit it out, but I'm letting you guys see this, and I apologize for that. Here it is. I was thinking about this at the gym earlier today. Going back to failure, when you're putting your plan into action, a lot of people say failure is not an option. Now, when I first heard that, when I was growing up, when I heard failure is not an option, I thought that meant that failure was not something that I can accept, right? I thought it meant that I can only choose success and that failure will not happen. But here's what I've learned at this point in my life, what it means when people say failure is not an option. Failure is not something you can choose to accept or not accept. Failure is not an option, meaning you are going to be given failure. You are going to fail. That is going to happen. And as I said earlier in this, you have to choose to continue. But there comes a time in your life. There comes a time in your life where things are going to go dark. Things are going to go black. Things are going to become bleak. And that happens when you lose your purpose. Because when you lose your purpose, you lose your plan. When you lose your plan, you put all the efforts you put into action. And that is what it means to hit rock bottom. And that is when you are at your lowest. And that is when you have to look back at everything you did, at all the heights of success you reached, and really begin to reevaluate it all. You begin to dissect, and you begin to question, and you begin, to wonder and reanalyze and overthink as to why you reached this point in your life. You were doing so well. Everything was going according to your plan. You were reaching new heights of success, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. And you're sitting there at rock bottom, and all that motivation you fed yourself and all that inspiration and that wavelength you were on becomes a different tune in your head. And it becomes a tune of what it really means to fail. Because then you start allowing fear into your life. And then you start feeling sad and anger and resentment. And then you become complacent, and life tries to keep you at rock bottom. Now, what I am learning at my life at the age of 28 is those rock bottom moments are actually the most important moments in your life, because those rock bottom moments can lead to the biggest and greatest outcomes that you can ever imagine. Because imagine this. As you're getting more successful, you're facing the negative things that I talked to you about. Now, what is more powerful than anything life can throw at you with these negatives? It's by hitting you and throwing you at rock bottom. Now, if you got thrown at rock bottom and you are at the bottom and you are at like the most negative place you can be in your life, where everything's going bad, your bills are collecting, your relationships are going bad, like you wake up, you're unhappy, you go to sleep, you're unhappy, you're unsure of what to do, you feel like a complete failure. The only way to fail at that given moment in time is to accept that position and stay there. And when you stay there, that is the biggest disservice you can do to yourself, and that is the biggest failure you can accept in your life. And that is when you are faced with the biggest and most important decisions you are ever going to make in your life. Now, I'm not saying that when you hit rock bottom, you have to bounce back out of it in a day, bounce back out of it 2 days, bounce back out of it 3 days. But you have to understand that no matter how hard it gets, and no matter how bad you feel like a failure, and no matter how bad you feel like it's done and you're over, you have to remain faithful. Now, when I say you have to remain faithful, what I'm learning now is you don't even have to remain faithful to that one dream that you became successful at, because some people are going to have many different routes to success. Some people are going to succeed in many different facets and ways in life. So I don't have to raise my faith in one day I'm going to, become successful on YouTube again. No, but I have to remain faithful that position that I am in at rock bottom is not where I am going to continue to be and continue to live, because one day I will begin to rise and one day I will reach success again. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, I will reach the heights I once reached. In a different way or the same way, but it is going to happen again, because I refuse to stay at that position of being at rock bottom. Now, that is going to be the hardest time in your life, because some days are going to be so bad. Some months are going to be so bad. Like it is going to get so ugly. It is going to get so ugly for yourself. But as long as you keep fighting, even if your fight isn't strong at first, you just keep fighting. You just keep going. You keep doing, and you keep believing. One day, I truly believe that you will reach a point where all that faith and all that determination will be worth it. And when I say that, I am not talking from experience, because I have hit rock bottom in my life on a personal reasons that I don't have to discuss to no one, yet I still have not risen to the occasion of understanding where I am going to go in life. But each day, no matter how doubtful I am, no matter how fearful I am, no matter how negative my thoughts may get, there is a spark. There is a spark of belief, passion, inspiration, motivation, knowing that my story is not done. My story is yet to begin. So each day I get up and I'm able to even show an ounce of effort, whether it be in the gym, whether it be my thought process of trying to fine-tune my thoughts into being a more positive person day in and out, I know that I am on the right track. Today, as I am running on the treadmill, I'm thinking to myself, you got this. This is only the beginning. This is the beginning of your tale. This is the beginning of your story. You will rise. You are a champion. You are great. You will succeed. Now, the problem is, at this point in time of me trying to fine-tune and harness my thoughts, I don't have the purpose that I'm seeking for. And without that purpose, I don't have a plan of action. Without that plan of action, I don't have that action. No, sorry. See, I messed up. I zoned out for a second. Without that purpose, I don't have a plan. Without that plan, I don't have action. So, I am waiting. And it's hard. Because as you are waiting, you are perceived by so many people around you. And sometimes it's harder to accept the opinions of others that they have for you than the opinions that you have for yourself. Meaning, a lot of people can look at me in my time of waiting and think exactly what I talked to you guys about earlier. This person is done. This person doesn't know what they're doing. This person is a failure. But as I said, and I always say, that does not dictate your future, your life, or more importantly, your reality. Because as long as you understand deep down that you are in a point at rock bottom of understanding yourself better, learning about yourself more, and becoming a better person, then one day you will begin to rise and you will be great again. Life is not perfect by any means. No matter how successful you see somebody, their life is not easy. Their life is not, given to them on a silver platter where all they see is up. It's not. You will never, ever succeed in life going on a forward trajectory without going down, without going backwards, without, staying down. Your life is going to take you on a wild course. But as long as you believe and continue and do not give up on yourself, then nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. You know, if you look at any musician's career, and I relate a lot of my talks to like people in the public eye, because those are the lives that we look at and we're like, wow, they're successful. But if you look at any business owner's career, if you look at any musician's career, NBA player's career, as successful as they are and as great as they are, they have and they had dark times. They had times where everybody thought it was over. You know, they had times where everything that they were doing is now over. If you look at Elon Musk and, you know, his launch of SpaceX, how many times it failed and how many times he continued. If you look at Odell Beckham Jr. right now, who just sustained a giant injury at the height of his career, that happens. That's life. But he's going to continue to go and he's going to continue to succeed. But they are going to have those dark times. They are going to have those times of doubt. So in your life, because you're facing a period of doubt and negativity and fear and what you perceive as failure, don't make that your whole life. A bad day doesn't determine a bad life. A bad week doesn't determine a bad life. A bad month, a bad year does not dictate and determine a bad life. There are people in far worse situations than you are in right now who have gotten way more successful than us. Why is that? They were in a much more negative situation than we are currently in, but right now they are shining higher than us because they didn't allow that to be their rock bottom. They didn't allow that to be strong enough to allow them to quit and give up on their dreams. You know, some of my greatest motivational speakers that I listen to have been homeless. They've been homeless. That could have been their life for the rest of their life if they chose and accepted that as their reality. But they never gave up and they fought. And the higher they fought, the more negative came into their life. And the higher they got, and the higher they got, and the higher they got. So I'm going to end this by saying, you are going to fail. You are going to fall. You are going to lose your passion, your purpose. You are going to struggle. But that doesn't mean you are going to stay there, and that doesn't mean you are doing anything wrong at all. It's a part of life. It's a part of your dream. It's a part of your passion, and you're strong enough to get through it. And I hope for myself that one day I can get to a position where I can stand tall doing whatever I'm going to be doing in life, look back at talks such as these, look back at the moments in life that I'm going through such as these, which are so small and just a moment in time of my life where I can smile and say, I told you so. Not only to you, not only to life, but to myself. Because I understand that because I am going through this time in my life right now, I'm going to brush it off. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of my life. It's not the end of my dreams, my career, or anything. It's a moment in time. And no one can choose for that to be my reality except for myself. And I refuse to allow that to be my reality.